Alright, so what we're going to be drawing is the hotel room. So here's the drawings for the hotel room. There's some notes up here of what we're expected to have. There's an additional note over here that specifies that the walls on the outside are 6 inches and the inside walls are 5 inches. So these are the inside walls right here. The outside will be these out here. So basically, if this was a room or a house, these would be the exterior and these will be the interior. Now, we open up our template, which is the B-size architectural template. So B-size arc. What you'll see that the template shows up first, which is the floor plan. We're not going to work in this paper space. We're actually going to work in model space. So make sure you're in model space by clicking on the models tab down here. From here, it's your option to have the grid on or off. I prefer not having the grid on because sometimes drawings get very complex and your eyes start playing tricks on you when the grids are out. So I'm going to turn off grid. Snap is also an option for you if you like. It's set at 6 inches. If you like, you can also turn it off. I will turn it off because most of the times snap won't be used. It's a good way of getting you started, but you'll end up not using it. OSnap is useful. I recommend using it, and make sure you have ortho on. Sorry about that. So you make sure you have ortho on, OSnap, and snap you can turn off. If you guys don't see these words, you probably see the icons. So if you right-click on your icon, you'll see a use icon. There's a check mark next to it. If you click on that, it will turn it off. And if you want the icons, it's vice versa. So we have those. Setup for OSnap is tricky, so I recommend keep tab on this right now. I'm also turning these off because I really don't need these. They're just going to slow down the computer. OSnap. If you right-click on it and go to Settings, it'll bring up this window where it specifies the different snaps that it offers. What I need you guys to have on is endpoint, midpoint, perpendicular, intersect, and extension's okay. You don't really need that one, but you can leave it on. Intersection, yes, that is correct. Keep this on. So you can see on the projector, you'll see these on. Endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension, and perpendicular.
How do you have to draw settings?
To get to this, all you have to do is right-click on OSnap. The other option, if you don't want to go through that, you can also activate them here. You can see them highlighted. So you can add additional ones as needed. The great part about going to the settings, it gives you a understanding of what which icon it represents. So endpoint has a square, midpoint a triangle, center a circle, and perpendicular shows a 90-degree symbol. Intersect shows an X. So basically, to understand this better, if I have a drawing like so, and I want to finish this line at this wall, you'll see a symbol, which is a 90-degree symbol, because I'm going perfectly 90 degrees up. If I move my mouse down, you see that symbol. So it will snap onto that location, making these lines attach. The other symbol you'll see next to it is the triangle. Since I drew the line in a way, I can actually extend this out. If I want this line to be at the center of this line, you'll see the midpoint, which is right here, the triangle. The other cool part about 2014 is if you leave your mouse long enough without moving on the actual OSnap icon, it'll explain it what it is. So this one's a midpoint. If I hold it here, it's going to say perpendicular. If I go to the endpoint here, it goes endpoint, and it shows a square. The more you get into AutoCAD, the more you understand these different snaps, and you'll see how important they are, especially for even this project. It's going to be pretty useful. So basically those are the setups that you'd like to have on, again, endpoint, midpoint, center, intersect, extension, and perpendicular. There's other ones that you can also use later, but not for this project. So basically I'm going to start with the line command at the left corner of my screen, the left bottom corner of my screen, basically starting my point right here, right by the bathroom. I'm going to select line, go up. Since I have ortho on, it's going to go perfectly 90 degrees up. I'm going to type in 18 feet. So I have to do a feet mark. Since it's 0 inches, I don't type anything else. That's just additional work which I don't need to do. So I'll do 18 feet, and I click enter. And that creates that first line. Then I go across 17 feet. Enter. The other option here would be, I'll just close it up. 18 feet, enter, and then instead of typing it in, all I have to do is go to the endpoint, and it snaps onto it, like so. Now these are exterior walls, so they will be 6 inches. So when we do offset, they will be 6 inches. But before we do that, I would like to make that cut right here. To do that, there's a few simple ways. I can offset both these lines. The bottom line I will offset 3 feet, and the second line I'll go 6 foot 1 inches, because that's from the exterior to where the opening ends. So I'm going to go offset. I'm going to type in the distance of 3 feet, since it's asking me to specify offset distance down here. 3 feet, enter. I'm going to select this bottom line, and I'm going to offset it up and click enter to escape from that command, or you can click escape. Again, I go to offset. If I click space, I can go back to offset because that's the previous command I used, or you can go back to the icon. This time I'm going to type in 6 feet /1. I'm not going to put the inch mark because the program understands that any digit you place in during your when you're working architectural, it'll take it as an inch. So if I put 6 foot 1, it'll understand it as 6 foot 1 inch. I click enter. You select the right wall and you offset it down, and click enter or escape. So this is the area that I would like to have opened. So to do that, I use the trim command. The best way of using trim is selecting the trim command, selecting the entire object, drawing basically. And what trim allows you to do is to shorten lines up to another line. You can only shorten it. Now if you want to remove the line, you'd have to use delete or erase. So okay, so I selected objects I want to trim. Yes. Now which lines? I'm going to trim this one here, this, and this, creating my complete exterior wall. From here, I will offset it 6 inches from each wall to create the thickness of the wall. So I go to the offset command, I type in 6 for the offset distance, and I start offsetting all these walls inward. So select it, and it's asking me which direction, this direction, select it, this direction. Make sure you actually click on the direction you would like it to go. Clicking enter will not let it know which way you want to go, so make sure you do that, like so. Now you can see that some of these are not completely attached. This is not a big deal because there's actually a wall there that keeps on going, so that's fine. But the other ones, they're overlapping, so we will need to trim these out. You can do it now or leave it for later. I'm going to do it now to make it my project a bit cleaner. I select the trim command, select the entire object, click right click, or enter, and I'm just trimming out those parts that are not needed, like so. And there's actually a bunch of them. If you can't select it by clicking on it, just creating a little box makes your life a little bit easier, but make sure it's a green box, which is right to left, not right to left to right. Alright, so I'm done trimming that out. What I want to do next is I'm going to create this room here, the bathroom. to go back to my drawing to see how wide this bathroom is. Surprisingly, it doesn't give me a distance right here. It makes me do some math work. So here's my math: 3 feet, 2 feet, and 7.5 inches. But the 7.5 inches is actually to the center of the wall. What I really want to do is the end from the end of the wall. So I have to remove 2.5 inches, since that wall right there is 5 inches thick. Removing 2.5 inches would give me 2 feet 5 inches and 3 feet. So together they'll be 5 feet 5 inches. So that is my bathroom size. It's specified up here. That specifies that the inside walls are 5 inches and the outside walls are 6. So I will do the offset 5 feet dash 5. Enter. And I'm going to offset that. What I can also offset now is the thickness of that wall. Since I know it's 5 inches, I can offset 5 inches, creating that bathroom wall. Now the tricky part here is here. I have a line here that I want to connect to this. I can draw a second line, or I can do something easier. I can select this line, select the end point of it, and that will let me snap on perpendicular, or even to the end point, to that line here. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. My next step would be to create the wall here, which is actually a little bit shorter because we have a extension of the wall for the closet. So what I'm going to do is create a line from this endpoint. See, it snaps on perfectly. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up 2 feet 5 inches. And now it also specifies that it's 6 inches across, so I'm 5 inches up. I'm not going to connect these lines because I want to make it very nice and clean. I want to make sure that this is one single line, not two weird lines. So I'm going to select that object. I'm going to stretch the endpoint. Select the endpoint and stretch it till it snaps on to end line right here, like so. On the other side, I also have a small piece of wall. Now I'm not sure what the dimension of how far it is, so I'm just going to use this endpoint as a reference. Let's go with the line command. I'm going to select this endpoint here, go all the way down till I hit that line here, which is going to give me a snap option of a perpendicular, which I will snap. So I snap on, and I'm still in the line command. I can keep on going, drawing that line in the right direction, or I'm going to go backwards a little bit. And the idea is to go backwards and create that wall. So I'm going to go backwards. You can kind of see that the color changed. It's no longer blue, it's gray. And I'm going to go 6. So I created this line right here. Now I'm going to go up 5 inches, and I can go 6 across, or I can snap it up to the perpendicular line, like so. Then I can just delete this line because I no longer need that. Now before I keep on going, I'm going to also do some trimming. I got an extra line here, an extra line here. So I'm going to use the trim command, select the entire area pretty much of work, right click, and remove those parts, like so. Now we have completed that part. Almost all the walls are done. We can put in the doors. Basically, the door are not, where are they specified? Okay, the doors are specified as 3 feet right here. So I'm guessing, oh, this one's a 2 foot. So that's a 3 foot door opening, and this is a 2 foot door opening. Keep that in mind. To do that, we'll have to draw, we can offset this line here to the center of the door, which is 6 foot 10 inches, and then offset it 12 inches both ways to make that cut. So we go to the offset command, or actually at this point you don't have to do offset, you can use a copy command. Basically it's the same thing as offset, except that you can only go, well, you'll see what I mean. You go copy command, I'm going to select this line here, enter, I'm going to copy it from, it doesn't really matter, any point on the screen will work. And I'm going to move to the right. I'm going to type in the distance, 6 feet 1 inch. 10 inches. That is the center of the door. Now I can go back to the copy command, select that. I'm going to move it over 12 inches and 12 inches the other way. And that actually creates where the opening for the bathroom door is. The only problem is I have to get a complete line across the wall. So I can just add those 2 lines. I snap to the endpoint and so forth. Here, finally remove these 3 lines that I used for reference. I'm going to trim out this opening to give me the opening for the bathroom. I can do the same exact thing with the room door, the door to the room. I'm going to take this line out here, copy down 7 feet 6 inches, which is the center of the door. From there, I go to copy again, select that same line. I copy it upwards 1 foot 6, because it's 3 feet in total, and then 1 foot 6 on the other side. And I do the same thing I did previously, which is doing the trim. Oops. And I remove that center line. I no longer need that. So I have my door locations. I have all my walls completed. These are 5 inch. These are all 6 inch exterior. And now I can actually place in my windows. So if you see on your drawings, the windows are shown on the left side, like so. And actually, I'm gonna go back. Alright, so we're going to put in the windows. To do that, I'm going to use the offset command this time. I'm going to offset this exterior line. Actually, or I can start from this line. This line, exterior, 3 feet and 3 inches to get to the center of the window, which is 36 inches wide. So I go offset 3 feet 3 inches. Take this exterior wall and I offset it to the center of that window. From there, I will offset it both ways by 18 inches. So I offset 18 inches this way and 18 this way. Then I can trim off the remaining parts. I go to trim, select the entire area I'm working at, space to complete the selection, and start trimming out parts. The center line I don't need, so I'm going to delete that. And the problem is here I have to draw 2 additional lines. So these are going to be spaced at 2 inches each. It may look like it's 3 lines inside. It's up to you if you want to do it their way or my way. But I'm going to create a line, an exterior from the end point of this line to the end point of this line. This line's right there. I'm going to select it. I'm going to actually use the move command. Select move. I'm going to move it over 1 inch. I'm going to make it as they have it. I'm going to copy that line 1 inch over, 2 inches over, 3 inches over, 4 inches over. I think I might have picked too many lines. So I'm going to have to delete the 2 over here. So it looks like that. Or it might be the other way. So I undo, and I'm going to delete these lines. That looks better, I think. So I can put the dimensions out there. I did 2 inches, 1 inch, and 1 inch. So I'm going to do this again with the other window. What I would normally do actually would be to copy it. Let's select the entire window. Now I would copy it over from center to the other center is 5 foot 1 inch. And I would complete it. It's a very fast, easy way of doing it. But I want to make sure you guys understand how I did the first one, so I'll just do it one more time at the bottom. This time it's going to be from the center of these lines, or this window, like we have shown here. From the center to the center is 5 foot 1 inch. So I'm going to go move it 5 foot 1 inch. I can extend it out over here, and actually I can stretch it back over here to snap onto the wall. So this is the center of the second window. I can use the copy command, select that line, and I can copy it this direction, 18 inches, and the lower direction 18 inches, creating my window area. The center line can be removed, and you end up with a box. At which point we'll have to create this whole thing right here. To do that, I use the line command from this endpoint to this endpoint, because I know that's the exact length of the inside. And I'm going to move it over. We use the move command. We'll move it over 2 inches, because I moved it here 2 inches. Now I have to make a copy of 1 inch and 1 inch. The thing about copy is it copies from the original location. So if I want to move it 1 inch, that's fine. But if I want to get it to the other one, I would have to make it 2 inches, because it's a 2-inch space from the original line. So 2 inches creates that second part. So now I have a window. Once we have the windows completed, we can add additional things like the shelf over here in the closet, which is 1 foot 3 inches, which I will offset. Offset 1 foot 3 inches, like so. And then actually there's a dashed line that's 12 inches away, or 1 foot. We'll keep those. And also the vanity is 2 feet, so I can offset 24 or 2 feet, and creates that vanity. So I have all those. What I want to do next is I'll add in the tub and the toilet. To do that, I go to Tools, Palettes, Design Center, or you can type in DC or Control 2. Some of these actually show you what you guys can type in on your keyboard to get a quick select to these commands. From there, depending on what computer you're working on, you'll go to the CAD 116 Spring 2014, and you will go into the House Designer. Normally, all new AutoCAD programs that you download will have the design center pretty much set up, and will have the same blocks. So you go to House Designer, Blocks, and this is where you can pick out the blocks you need by clicking, dragging it onto your screen. I know I need all 3, maybe even a faucet. Do I need closet doors, bifold doors? No, I don't. Do I need regular door left 36 inches? Yeah, sure. I can add that in. We'll see what if we can work with that one. Do I need anything else? No, we're good. So I'm going to close this out. I don't like having windows opened. The tub. It is facing the wrong direction, and so is the toilet. We have to rotate these bad boys. To rotate, we go to our rotate command. We select an object to rotate, like this one. It's asking, do I want to select any more? That's all I want to select, so I click space. And it's asking me a base point to rotate. So I usually pick a corner. It helps me visually inspect which way I'm rotating the object. Knowing that I have ortho on, it will rotate only 90 degrees each direction. So that rotates that. I can go back to the same command by hitting space or rotate, and I rotate again. And the sink I need to rotate with the faucet. I also need a faucet for the tub, so I will make a copy of this faucet like so and rotate it around as well. Now I can start moving these objects. I use the move command, select the object, and I select a point of displacement. Here's a good time where you pick a corner and you snap onto the corner. You pick, let's say, the center, the midpoint, and you move it over to the midpoint. You do the same thing with the sink. Faucets. Now, the faucets and the sinks are not in the right direction exactly, but we can just move them by using just dimensions. So I'm going to use the move command, and I'm going to type in a dimension. It looks about, I think 10 inches will be good. Nope, that's not enough, so I select it again, and move it 1 more inch. I move the faucet back also. Too far, Move it back 1 inch. Actually, that sink is pretty big. Maybe I can even scale it down. So if you would like to scale it down, you can do that. Scale, select the sink, you enter, specify the center of the sink. That's where you want to scale it down to or up. And I'm going to type in 0.9. So it went 90% of its size. This one also, I need to move the faucet. I'll move it back about 1 inch. Nope, one more inch. There we go. Have that. And what I realized here is I had the wrong size of the room. I followed the dimensions correctly and everything, but the tub is the actual correct dimension. Standard tub lengths are 60 inches or 5 feet. That's like a standard bathroom size, which we should have made, not what this drawing has. So what we can do is go to our stretch command. We're going to select this entire wall. So anything that is inside the box will move. Anything that has only a portion of it will actually get stretched. So the two exterior walls will get stretched. The vanity will get stretched. And the wall behind the vanity will get stretched. I'm going to select all those. Click Enter to accept. And I'm going to use this corner here. It's going to help me move the entire wall. So from this point, I want to move it down up to the tub. And that creates that shorter wall, which actually makes that room look good. I also inserted a door, which I can use to be placed into the rooms. So I'm going to move it over from this end point here to here, but it's in the wrong rotation, so I have to rotate that around like so. The also problem is I want to use the same door over here, but the door here is 2 feet, so I will have to use it could be a pocket door, but I'll actually have to stretch this down or scale it down. Well, actually, technically it wouldn't work scaling down because the door frame itself would get smaller, but the thickness actually never changed. So we'll actually redesign this door. We're going to draw a rectangle going up 24, across 1.5 inches thick, 24, and close it up. Next part, we'll just create an arc, this point to this point, and then you decide. Oh, sorry, wrong. We'd use a start, center, end. Yeah, we can use a start, end, center, end. Start, center, end. If that doesn't work, we can always select the points, stretch them out to make it work, to make it look like it's supposed to. So this concludes placing all the items, setting up the walls. What we need to do next, it would be to add dimensions, but before we do that, we need to change this line to be dashed. To do that, I can go to this by layer area, and if I don't have an option for a hidden, I'll go to other. I will go to load. I go to hidden to let's see, hidden X2. I'm going to select that and click OK. Click OK, but I forgot to select it and actually change it, so I'm going to do that right now. And that creates a hidden line. It'll come up better when it's printed. From there, you guys can put in dimensions, since you probably know how to already. You go to linear, you select endpoints, and you start placing those dimensions, like so. And you keep going until you have all complete set. So the construction guy can actually install this whole room, build it, knowing all the dimensions and once everything is located. Don't forget to put the text in, and if you like, you can also specify the room. This is a room, the bedroom. This is the bathroom. This is the closet. You also design bifold doors in here if you like. But don't forget to change all your layers based on what you have. So furniture should be in the furniture layer, dimensions in the dimension layer, walls in the wall layer. I didn't do that. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to do. That actually concludes the whole video. I believe that's all you really need to know. Don't forget the text for the windows. Again, text, you just go text, you type it in based on the size you want. 2 inches is probably a correct size. Why isn't this? And even though the text looks humongous here, it's going to be fine. So I do 36 inches wide by 48 inches high. I click anywhere on the screen and I can rotate this text by selecting the text and rotating it around. If you don't like the text size itself, you can also scale it up to maybe a bigger scale. But keep in mind, we want to keep everything consistent. Once you have this all complete, you'll work on your floor plan, paper space, where you'll put in your information. You will double click into the viewport and you will zoom into your sketch, at which point you will change the scale to whatever fits it best. Quarter of scale is a little bit, 3/8 is perfect. And then you change the scale right here. And then you will be completed with the project.